What's up, Fragrant World, and welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. I hope you're doing well. We're still in these weird times. I hope you're all staying healthy and staying indoors as much as you can. Today, we're continuing in the line of fragrances for life. Now, I recently did a top 10 designer fragrances for life. You can check it out here if you missed it. Those are 10 fragrances in my designer collection that I plan to keep forever. That may not be the case because I did that 2 years ago and the list changed a little bit, but at least half the list I did keep from the first one 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I did not do a top 10 niche fragrances for life. So I decided to do that. We're talking about 10 of my niche fragrances that I plan to keep in my collection forever, as long as I'm here. This list was so hard to put together. Oh man, it was stressful. There were so many I wanted to add, but I made it difficult for myself, and I only chose one fragrance per house. I wanted to do multiples, but I said, no, let's keep variety. We're going to only feature one fragrance per house, which was so hard. There's a number of fragrances I wanted to mention as honorable mentions, but we're being fair. Only 10. The other ones that didn't make it just barely missed it. And the order that I'm going to share it's top 10. It's what I think I wear from least to most, but I love all of them. And again, there are fragrances that aren't here that would very much be worn almost as much as these. So let's jump into it. Here at number 10, a fragrance that I have loved for a long time. I reviewed this last year, and you can check that review right here. This is from the House of Bois 1920. This is called Dolce di Giorno, a fantastic fragrance for the springtime, especially good for the fall as well. It's a very unique scent. It's very spicy, it's very woody, and it's a little sweet. You do have a lot of plum in here, which I love. I featured this on my top 10 fruity fragrances video. Plum is a major player here, mixed with some cinnamon, a lot of cinnamon. So it is quite spicy, and there's a sweetness to it from that plum. And it's very woody with cedar wood. And there's this interesting other woody facet in the fragrance from cypriol, which comes from the plant Nagarmatha, and it's just a very unique touch, and it's one that might make it strange to some noses when you smell it for the first time. But this is one where you smell it in the air, it is so refined and elegant, and it's so interesting, and it's also very pleasant all at the same time. This is one to check out, the green juice from Bois 1920. That's Dolce di Giorno. At number 9, I featured this on my top 10 woody fragrances list. This was a while back, maybe back in the fall. I love this stuff. I discovered it last fall, late summer actually, and I've been loving it ever since. It does have some similarities to Terre d'Hermès from Hermès, but in my opinion, this is more refined, a little bit more of a rounded, warmer version of Terre d'Hermès, not so earthy and brash as it can be to some. From the house of Daniel Josier from Spain, this is called Vetiver. Simply Vetiver. Vetiver is the main player here. You have an orange leaf note, and there's also some other citruses. There might be some grapefruit in here. It is quite earthy. It does have a citrus quality, and there's a little bit of a dirtiness to it, but there's a warmth that I just love when it dries on the skin. It is a very calming scent. It is yet again very refined. There's no real sweetness here, so it's all business. There's no real playfulness in this fragrance. If you're looking for a playful woody scent, this is not the one, but if you want to smell refined, this is it. I love it. Daniel Josier Vetiver. All right, here at number 8. One of the most unique fragrances I have in my collection. Man, nothing I have smells like this. There's nothing I've smelled like this, period, from the house of Nishane. This is Fan Your Flames. This is a favorite from the house for many people. Such a unique blend of notes here. Tonka bean, oak moss, rum, coconut, tobacco, cedarwood. What I mainly get out of this is a slight tropical nature from the coconut, almost creamy, but it's mixed with a very dry cedarwood. And there is a sweetness from tonka bean. There might even be vanilla in here as well. That tobacco adds this beautiful earthiness to it. And the rum, that rum note, man, again, the combination is so different. You don't really smell anything like this anywhere else, at least that I've experienced. Very elegant for the winter time. This is a beast mode fragrance. This is an extrait de parfum. It lasts until you take another shower, honestly. So be careful with this stuff, but I love it. One that I don't wear all that much because it is, it's fairly low here, but whenever I can find an occasion to put this on, I reach for it. And I put on maybe one spray because it is that powerful. That is Fan Your Flames from Nishane. Here at number 7, one of my favorite Creed fragrances, period. This is a favorite for many people. This has been around since the 1990s, and in my opinion, when it came out, it was ahead of its time. This is a masterpiece, and it has stood the test of time. It's still a bestseller from Creed, and that squeak, I always squeak it.
Will you cut that out?
Anyway, this is Silver Mountain Water. It's very polarizing scent. Some don't really care for it. It does have this inky metallic quality that goes with it. A lot of tea in here, blackcurrant, bergamot, musk. That blackcurrant is juicy, only a little bit sweet. The tea adds this really rounded, calming nature to it, and it does kind of smell like tea. And there's a very cooling and refreshing quality to this fragrance that suits the name perfectly. This is a very transportive scent. I put it on and I just feel invigorated and refreshed. Great for the summertime. I wore this today as my scent of the day and I loved it. I got really hot and sweaty at work and this was emanating all around me and really cooling me off. I love it. Silver Mountain Water from Creed. At number 6, I have featured this fragrance on my top 10 niche list for the spring. One I'm still getting to know, but I'm loving it, and I'm going to do a full review within the next week or so. From the house of Argos, a fragrance house I have been featuring a little bit more. This is Bacio Immortale, one of the 3 new fragrances from their brand new Italian collection. And this is currently my favorite leather-based fragrance. But there's a lot of interesting facets to it. It opens up bright and citrusy, although the leather is there from the get-go. It's in the heart and in the base. You get a little bit of sweetness from like raspberry, so there's a fruity nature to it. It has a little bit of a floral heart, and there's even some oud in the base. And there's a green nature to it. It's like a sweet green leather scent. Man, it is so freaking elegant. You wear this at night, look out. Full review on the horizon, so watch out. I'll talk about all the facets of performance and all that stuff. This is good stuff. That's Bacio Immortale from Argos. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to sample it or even get it yourself. There will be a link with a code FRESH10 and get 10% off. Check it out. At number 5, quickly becoming one of my favorite gourmand fragrances ever. From the house of Cabanel, a release from last year, if I'm not mistaken, by one of my favorite perfumers, Cecile Zarokian. This is called Café Cabanel. This is a gorgeous, like creamy, sweet, spicy chai latte kind of fragrance. There's a coffee note in here. You got cinnamon, vanilla, caramel. There's even a milk accord. So it is creamy and sweet and so succulent. There's a musk in the base as it dries that makes it, it's very sensual. And I think this is a beautifully unisex fragrance. Anyone could wear this one. This is gorgeous. Great for the fall or pretty much any time in the evening when it's a little chilly. Not too warm for sure, because this will get a little bit much. If you want to check this one out, I have a link down from Scent City, who I've partnered with a couple times in the past. And they're giving you guys a nice little coupon code. You can put in the code JC Recommends. That'll give you 12% off. They have a bunch of collections you can buy. You can get a sample set of a variety of niche fragrances that you wouldn't have otherwise tried anywhere else, or you can actually get full bottles if I'm not mistaken. And again, JC recommends that code will get you 12% off. So go there and
Go crazy.
within reason though. That is Café Cabanel from Teo Cabanel. At number 4, this is signature scent worthy and it's in the name. This is Zaharoff. Zaharoff, I should say it correctly. I believe it's Zaharoff. Signature Pour Homme from George Zaharoff. Man, this is a beautiful barbershop style fragrance. But there's a lot more to it than that. There's some oud in here, there's pear, there's just some other facets that you wouldn't normally find in a normal aromatic fougere. Lots of lavender. Again, it has the reminiscence of a barbershop style fragrance where it's kind of creamy and fresh and spicy, but there's some other little curveballs in there that make it really interesting, and this stuff has great performance. If you want to check it out, you can go to Zaharoff's website. Zaharoff. My bad. You can go to their website and you can get a sample. I think you just pay the cost of shipping. This is definitely worth sampling. You got to check this stuff out. This stuff is blowing up. Don't miss out. Check out Zaharoff Pour Homme. Number 3, this, man, I almost left this off. And I looked at it and I'm like, no, come on, Justin. This is one of the first niche fragrances I really kind of fell in love with years ago. And this is no stranger to the community. This is Reflection Man from Amouage. I haven't been wearing it all that much this season. Oh man, honestly. But because I find it so elegant, you know, it's not something I just, especially now, I'm not leaving the house much. So I don't really wear it that much, but it has been one of my favorites for a long time. And I think it will always be in my collection. I feel like it would be ridiculous of me to get rid of this or to ever not have it, because I do love to wear it when I do get a chance to wear it. When I'm suited up and it's daytime and I'm just feeling elegant and just refined and beautiful in my own way, this is what I reach for. That is Reflection Man. Number 2, this is just a travel atomizer. This is from the House of Roja Parfums. And man, this was hard because I wanted to include like 3 others from this house that I had to choose one. And I chose the one that topped my niche spring list. I wanted to put Scandal Parfum Cologne on this list, which I love. I wanted to put Danger on this list. In fact, I'm gonna do a top 10 Roja Parfums fragrance video at some point soon, because I have so many that I love and that I want to talk about. So I'll do a list on that. But for today, we are talking about, this is Oligarch. I'll put a bottle on the screen. This is just a little travel atomizer, which, if I'm not mistaken, at least at the time I'm shooting this video, I think they're running a special on their website where if you buy a full bottle, you get to choose a free travel atomizer from any of the other fragrances that they have in their catalog, at least the ones that are not discontinued, which is awesome. It's 7.5 milliliters. These things would normally go for maybe at least $80, I think. So it's a pretty good special. But Oligarch, I love this, man. I had my family smell this. They loved it too. It's very fresh and aromatic. There's a sharp juniper berry note in here. There's some citruses. I mean, a ton going on here. It's quite woody, a little bit sweet. Again, kind of fresh, and it's herbaceous. And some people say it's kind of reminiscent of Elysium, which I also really love. I get that vibe, but this is a little bit sweeter to me than Elysium in some ways. And there's just some other parts in the center. This is a parfum concentration, by the way, and it's dense. So it's a little denser than Elysium to my nose, although I know Elysium does have a parfum concentration that I have not smelled, but this is good stuff. Oligarch, you got to check this out. And number 1, this is kind of boring, but I had to be real. This is the fragrance out of all of these that I wear the most. It's not a Ventus. I'm upset with the Ventus. I think maybe one day I'll get a new bottle, but I also don't feel like I need to for a few reasons, which I will talk about later. But this first one, I've talked about it a lot. I wear this all the time. I've been trying to wear it less this year, and I'm succeeding. But every time I reach for it, it's magnetic. It pulls me back in. And this is Layton from Parfum de Marly. This is such an easy to wear fragrance. Some people might even say it's not niche. comes from a niche fragrance house, but the scent itself is not niche. And honestly, I would agree with that. It's not niche. If we define niche as something, you know, very different, it may be sometimes daring, you know, something you wouldn't find everywhere. This kind of scent, you would find this in some designer fragrances, to be honest. But this is great quality. You can sense the quality of it. The quality of the ingredients is higher, even though the olfactory profile of it is not really anything different. How it comes together is good quality, as you expect from the House of Parfum de Marly. This is sweet from lots of cardamom. There's apple in here. I think there's some vanilla. You get cinnamon. There's some geranium. It's fresh and aromatic. It's just very people pleasing. Great performance. This is like your super dumb reach for niche. If you want to just know you're going to smell really freaking attractive, this is what you wear. This is my most complimented fragrance right now. Layton. I love it. I always have people asking me what it is. So that is my number one niche fragrance for life, at least at this point. This will probably change or reshuffle with time. Again, we're human, we change, it's inevitable. But for now, this is the 10 that I'm gravitating towards. So now it is your turn. If you have niche fragrances in your collection, if you don't, first of all, that's okay. You don't need them. But if you do have them, then let me know your favorite one down in the comments. What is your number one niche fragrance that you plan to keep in your collection for life? One that you know that you can't be without it. Every time you put it on, you're like, yes, I'm so happy I'm wearing this. This is me. Let me know what that one fragrance is. If you like the video, like the video. I really appreciate your support. And if you haven't subscribed yet, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. If you've made it this far, again, I assume that you've liked at least a little bit of what's going on in this video within these 4 little corners here. So, hope to see you back next week, if not sooner. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.